All right, what is going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another video.
Week 4 predictions. Week 3 is in the books. We are already on Week 4. This season seems to be flying by quick. It's already Week 4.
Yeah.
Want to welcome back a special guest to the channel again. Sentinel. You guys might remember his name. He joined us for predictions last year and the year prior. And, of course, for mock draft, Sentinel. How you doing, man? What's up?
Hey, great to be back on the show, you guys. I just want to give you guys a huge shout out. Congratulations on the 5K subs. That is not an easy thing to do. You guys are incredible. We love the content you're putting out, and you guys are really becoming a staple of Pittsburgh Steelers media on YouTube. So just all the love and support for you guys, and I'm proud of you guys.
Hey, man, that means a lot. We appreciate the kind words and the continued support. And we want to thank you for your time today for the predictions, man.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Let's get into the Thursday Night Football game. We have an absolute travesty. I don't know why they just continue to play these games. We have the Denver Broncos at the New York Jets. What's your prediction?
Although Denver's really banged up, I'm going to go with Denver here because they are the better coach team. When you have Adam Gase as your head coach, I can't get behind you as winning any football games, period. I have Denver winning, and for all the people out there that say that Sam Darnold is the issue, you know nothing about football. Sam Darnold is not the issue. It is 100% the GM and the coaching, and I think it's criminal what is being done to that young man.
Couldn't say it better myself. Adam Gase is just one of the worst head coaches in football right now in the entire NFL. I'd even say NFL history. I mean, look how Tannehill has revived his career with Tennessee. So, yeah, Gase sucks. The Jets suck. I feel bad for Darnold. I got Denver 17-3.
Yeah, even with their multiple injuries, I got Denver. The Jets just absolutely suck. I really feel bad for Darnold and the other talent that they got. Even Jets fans, I really do. Denver, I got 17-13 win.
Okay. Now, Sunday games, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Chicago Bears. What's your prediction on this one?
You know, I'm actually kind of shocked that the Bears are 3-0, but this is where I think the undefeated train ends. I have the Colts winning here. I just think that the Bears defense is a shell of what it was. I think that, you know, Nick Foles is a good quarterback, but I just don't have them being that complete team that can beat the Colts. Right now, I just have the Colts in this one overall.
Okay. This one was really tough for me. I want to go with the Colts, but I don't trust Phillip Rivers. Speaking of the Jets, they lost 36-9 last week against the Colts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Indianapolis does have that momentum. So does Chicago. I agree. I don't know how they're undefeated. I thought they'd be winless right now, to be real with you. Nick Foles is getting the start. Shot in the dark. I'm going to go Chicago. 24-21, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Chicago here. Just like Dan said, I really can't trust Phillip Rivers. He has been playing a lot better since their first loss against Jacksonville. But, I mean, I agree with you, Sentinel. You know, Chicago's defense is a shell of its former self, but I still think they got talent. I still think they got guys that can make turnovers, and that's something that Phillip Rivers has been doing a lot of late into his career. And I think that's what's really going to hurt the Colts here. So I got Chicago winning 24-21.
Okay. Now, next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. This should be a good one. What's your prediction here?
Should be.
No, not the game, his prediction.
Oh.
First off, I have to say, man, Joe Burrow is one tough son of a gun. This guy lives on the ground. He has been sacked and hit so many times. I thought he was done. I saw that hit against the Eagles. I thought it was game over for him. He looked like he got hit by a semi-truck. Mm-hmm. And yet he came back and tied the game. He tied the game. Like, not just him, his entire team, but still, I for sure thought it was game over for Burrow then and there. But anyways, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one. The only reason I say that is not because I think Joe Burrow and his offense are bad. I just think the Jaguars and their offense is going to decimate the Bengals. defense. I think that Robinson, their rookie running back, is having a great year thus far. I hope and think that DJ Chark will be back in this one, which is huge. They actually have a pretty nice young core. Laviska Shenault can go literally any position on the offense besides O-line, but I wouldn't put it past him. And I think Gardner Minshew's going to have a chip on his shoulder for everybody jumping ship so early. So I have Jacksonville winning this one, but it's going to be close. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, I got to agree. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I do agree. I think James Robson's really going to have another good one here. Oh, yeah. At least I hope so because I have him in fantasy. But it's Cincinnati. He should have a good game. I agree. Burrow is one tough son of a gun. I think he's going to be great. It's just they need to give him an offensive line and some more dependable weapons and an actual defense. That Cincinnati defense has got to be like the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. It has not improved whatsoever. So I'm going to go Jacksonville here. 27-23.
Yeah, I got Jacksonville here. Even if Cincinnati is at home, their team is just a travesty outside of Burrow. Joe Burrow is literally the one good thing about that team, and he's a freaking rookie. He's a damn rookie. And I honestly think he's too good for Cincinnati. I really do.
He deserves much better, I'll tell you that.
He does, definitely. But I got Jacksonville winning here. I got 27-23 Jacksonville.
Speaking of travesties, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, what's your prediction here?
Before I saw the game against the Seahawks that Dallas just played the other day, going into this, I thought for sure it was going to be an easy win for the Browns, and I hate saying that. However, the fact that Dallas stayed pretty close relatively to Russell Wilson, who's arguably the MVP candidate of this year thus far, I actually have Dallas coming out on top on this one. I think that their defense is figuring out ways to create pressure and kind of, blanket whatever the heck a revolving door they got at middle linebacker right now with both Lee and Van Der Esch injured. I think Trayvon Diggs is becoming a stud. I think he's having a great year thus far. He's had 2 or 3 drop balls that could have easily been interceptions thrown his way, especially that one to I believe it was DK Metcalf in the end zone. I think he knocked it away or something of that sort. But I just don't see – let's put it this way. It came down to one play of Dak almost coming back and winning the game for them last week. And the fact that he came back against the Falcons from pretty much an unwinnable game says a lot about this Dallas team, and I just don't trust the Cleveland Browns defense. Outside of Myles Garrett, I'm not impressed at all with that defense. I think it'll be a close game, but I have Dallas winning this one at home.
I agree. I got Dallas. Another name that is really making his mark and is a potential guy for comeback player of the year, currently leads the league in sacks, is Aldon Smith. Hasn't played in, 4 years? Hasn't lost a step. So I think he's going to cause a lot of pressure on Baker Mayfield. We know when Baker's pressured, he looks like
the Browns.
The Browns, a typical Browns quarterback. So, yeah, I got Dallas here. This could be close because of Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's a monster. Dallas wins 31-20.
I mean, Dallas, their record, is not great. They're 1-2, I believe, but I say that they're a lot better than what their record shows.
They are.
I feel like it's their coaching. I think Mike McCarthy is not the coach for them whatsoever. I honestly think Jason Garrett would be better with them right now than McCarthy, but nonetheless, the Dallas offense going up against the Cleveland defense, I got them shredding the Cleveland defense. Their defense is horrid, and Dallas's defense really ain't all that bad. It's mainly their front seven, though, and that's what's really going to hurt Baker and the Browns offense. So I got Dallas winning 31-20.
Right. So before we get to the next game, I believe it was Jerry Jones who said that Dak, he said something along the lines of him not being a good leader or something along the lines where he has to make that play. Like if it was Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson, they would have made that play at the end of the game and they would have won the game. That's shitty from your owner to your leading quarterback. I've never really been high on Dak Prescott. I think he's overrated, but he's actually looking really good so far this year. And for him to say that about Dak is just a horrible thing from an owner to his star quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely going to have a chip on his shoulder on that part. Dallas wins this against Cleveland for sure. New Orleans at Detroit. They might get Michael Thomas back. The Saints could. What's your prediction here?
I'm going to assume that they don't get Thomas back here. I'm going to go worst case scenario. If that is the case, I think this is the upset of the week. Detroit should have won that first game. They were a drop away from winning that game and being, I believe, 2-1 instead of 1-2 currently.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that they put the Cardinals in their place, even though it was a close game, I think that says something because that was a very hot Cardinals team with DeAndre Hopkins, no less, and Kyler Murray, no less. So I think the New Orleans Saints are struggling without Michael Thomas, and I've never been a big fan of their defense. I think their defense is average. I think Cam Jordan and Janoris Jenkins and LaShawn Lattimore are good complementary guys, but I don't know. With Kenny Galladay and Matt Stafford heating up, DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson's starting to heat up a little bit, and it's at home. If they don't got Michael Thomas, I'm taking the Lions in this one.
Okay. I'm going to actually have to agree with you. I was going to go with the Saints, but Breeze isn't looking all that good. He's throwing 5-yard checkdowns looking like Tom Brady. If I'm just being real with you, Alvin Kamara's a monster. Alvin Kamara's a monster. I like you said, I don't know if they get Michael Thomas back, but if they don't, I'm going to go with Detroit as well. I like Detroit coming into this year. I thought they were an underrated team. Matt Patricia's still here and there as a head coach, but they really got a good team, especially with Galladay back. I'm going Detroit.
Okay.
34-24, believe it or not.
Okay. I'm still going to go with the Saints here. I do agree. Coming in, I didn't really think Detroit was really all that, but they have been holding their own against some very good teams. They surprised the hell out of me being Arizona. I think Arizona is a sleeper team for the Super Bowl, in my honest opinion. And the Saints haven't been looking too well the past 2 weeks whatsoever. But I'm still going to go with the Saints here. We'll see how they do. We'll see how Breeze does, see if he adjusts, see if he plays a lot better than what he should be doing. But nonetheless, I got the Saints. I'm going to go 34-24.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to change my prediction to 27-24.
All
right, now we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Tennessee Titans. This game is currently up in the air. This is being recorded on Tuesday. This video will probably upload on Friday or Saturday since we're banned from uploading for a week. I don't know if this game's even happening. It could be rescheduled. What are your thoughts?
I can't speak on the NFL's behalf. I don't know if they're gonna have it rescheduled or forfeit. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think the only real data we can go from is when Miami had to reschedule that game a few years ago because of Thunder and Lightning. They had to completely reschedule it, and they took away, I believe it was Miami's bye week, and put the game on the bye week. So that could be an option. I'm not going to speculate and theorize of what they're going to do. All we know is that the Vikings got cleared. Maybe the Titans get cleared. Maybe we see this game. But regardless, if this game were to happen on Sunday at 1 p.m., I have the Steelers winning. Now, hold on to your butts, boys, because I'm about to go on my soapbox for a second. I don't want to hear anybody say that the Steelers have played teams with a combined winning record of 0-9, because guess what? The Tennessee Titans have beat people with a winning record of what? 1-8. That's only one win, which, may I add, in every one of those 3 games the Titans have played, they have won, by only a few points. The first game they almost lost to the Broncos 16-14. They just barely beat the Vikings with a miracle kick, 31-30, and they almost lost to the Jaguars in another very, very close game. So I'm not overly impressed with the Tennessee Titans. However, I do think they are the best coached team we will face up until this point of the year. They have Derrick Henry, who's an absolute monster. I do think our run defense is able to slow him down. I don't think you can stop a guy like that, but I do think we'll be effectively able to slow him down, which will then make play action not as much of a weapon for Ryan Tannehill, because that's what he thrives on, is play action. We don't know if A.J. Brown's healthy enough to play or not yet, so that'll be a huge factor. I think this isn't the most complete wide receiving core we've had to face thus far. I could argue the Texans or the Broncos had the most complete wide receiving core at the time. This is the best offensive line we'll be going up against, but when you have a pass rush like us, I'm not too concerned necessarily. I have the Steelers winning this one. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a physical game, but I'm also not that worried about the Titans defense. I mean, outside of, Clowney and maybe Adoree Jackson, if he gets to come off IR. I think it's Adoree Jackson who was on IR, who might be eligible to come back. I don't know. Call me a homer. Say what you want. I have the Steelers having a win here. So that's my call, boys.
You're not a homer whatsoever. I agree. I'm going with Pittsburgh here. I like Tennessee, but you said it best. All their games have been closed down to field goals. So they're vulnerable, and they are, I don't want to say easily, but they are beatable, especially for the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
We got to shut down Barkley. We already did. We got to shut down Henry. I think this Russian defense can do it. Henry is a different machine, but if we force Tannehill to pass the ball and we can continue to pressure him and slow down Henry as much as possible, and with the way that the Tennessee Titans rushing defense has looked the past 3 weeks, if we utilize the rushing game like we did last week, then I think we can keep Henry off the field, drain the clock as much as possible, and come out with a win here. I'm going Pittsburgh 26-18.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I got Steelers. Tennessee is a good team, but, I mean, their offense pretty much is just Derrick Henry. If we stop him, I think we got this in the bag. Pittsburgh wins 27-24.
Okay. Now we have Seattle Seahawks, who are looking red hot right now, at the Miami Dolphins, who are coming off a win, I believe. What's your prediction?
This is a no-brainer. I'm going to have the Seahawks. Russell Wilson looks incredible. That whole offense looks incredible. I hope Chris Carson has a speedy recovery. I don't know the extent to his injury, but it looked nasty, and it's really unfortunate that guy gets so banged up because he's a hell of a runner. But he's just always injured, and it sucks because we have a guy similar in the same field in James Conner, who's really good when he's healthy, but he's just always banged up, which is super unfortunate because these guys have families and you don't want to see them out of work. You want them playing on the field, enjoying and loving the game of football. But besides the point, this is going to be, I think, a blowout. I think Seattle's going to just absolutely decimate the Dolphins. However, I will say, for all the people that are saying the Seattle is the NFL super team, they're going to the Super Bowl, pump the brakes because the Seattle's defense is atrocious. They're allowing more points in the past 3 games than I think NFL history, passing yards, that is. So as good as their offense is, their defense is a, tumbleweed. So I have the Seahawks winning this one, but I don't know. I'm not fully sold on the Seahawks yet.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks. I agree with everything you said there. Their defense is horrible, and plus, I believe Jamal Adams just got a groin injury. Not he was doing much anyway, but yeah, Seattle's defense is atrocious. But Russell Wilson, man, he's on fire. I agree. I think he's going to be MVP this year, or at least he's starting to look like MVP. He's thrown the most touchdowns in the first 3 games, which was previously held by Patrick Mahomes with 13. He now has 14. I think he reaches 19 in 4 games. I think he throws for another 5. Seattle wins 42-21.
Yeah, I got Seattle. I mean, even with their defense, I don't think Miami's really going to do much because whenever Ryan Fitzpatrick, now, don't get me wrong, they have talent. Myles Gaskin's looking good. Devontae Parker's starting to break out a little bit. But whenever Ryan Fitzpatrick has a good game, the next game he looks like failure. He really does.
That's his career in a nutshell.
Pretty much. So I don't really see Miami doing much offensively. I got Seattle blowing them out. I got 37-13.
Okay. Now the next game we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's your prediction on this one?
So whenever you have a young quarterback who's not really had any practice time, hasn't really played that many NFL games, it's going to take a while for him to start clicking with the offense. And I think Herbert has done an amazing job thus far from what's been asked of him, kind of just thrown into the game, not really thinking he was going to start. That being said, I do think Tampa Bay wins this one. It's at home. They're starting to figure it out. They finally have Evans in the mix. They're finally getting Godwin in the mix. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think that the Chargers defense definitely has some moxie to be able to slow down a team like the Chiefs, arguably the highest scoring team in the league, and slow down Patrick Mahomes, one of the, if not the best quarterback in the league. So I have Tampa Bay winning this one, but don't be surprised if it's a closer game than you think.
Okay. This was kind of a toss-up because I like what Herbert's doing. I think the Chargers are – I was never impressed with the Chargers, but, I mean, Keenan Allen's looking real good. Keenan Allen, I mean, we all know what Keenan Allen is, incredibly underrated. Austin Eckler is so versatile. Their defense is honestly not too bad. Joey Bosa is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
If he can pressure Brady, I would love to see that all day. But I'm still going to go Tampa Bay. 24-17, but I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if this was close.
I got Tampa Bay winning this one. I mean, the Chargers are definitely looking a lot better with Herbert in there, and to be honest, I think they're in better hands with Herbert in at quarterback than Tyrod Taylor, because Tyrod Taylor just sucks in general. But I feel like if the Chargers defense can be able to contain and hold Brady, I think they could pull this one off. But I still think I still got Tampa winning this one. I got them winning 29-20 at home.
All right. Now we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Washington football team. I'm excited for this one.
Really?
Well, not the game, for Philip's thoughts.
Yeah, go on.
All right, before I get into that, guys, real quick, some breaking news that just came out. The NFL has alerted the Vikings and Titans that their opponents for Week 4, that their games may be rescheduled. So it's out there in the universe that the games might be rescheduled for both of those teams and their opponents, that being the Texans and the Steelers. So
actually, I just got a report from Aditi Kikwala. She said the Steelers are being told that as of now, Sunday's game against the Titans is still on.
Let's go. I trust Aditi Kikwala. I trust her more than some random person on Twitter, so ignore everything I just said. Anywho, going back to the matter of hand, the Baltimore Ravens at Washington. Listen close. Everybody really listen in here. The Ravens ain't shit. The Ravens ain't shit, y'all. They are not. And I'm not going to sit here like a homer, a Steelers fan, and say, oh, you're just happy they lost in your first in the league, your first in your division. No, this is why the Ravens ain't shit, because they have a running back at quarterback. And don't give me this bullshit. Nah, you want to know why? I'll tell you why. I'll go straight to the facts. Last night against the Chiefs, who have a average defense, and yes, they have Patrick Mahomes in that offense that can score on a dime. Lamar Jackson in passing was 15 for 28. Ouch. 97 yards from the MVP. Double ouch. A completion percentage of 53.6, abysmal. An average of 3.5, childish. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, a long of 19. Sacked 4 times and had a QBR of 40.4. You want that guy as your quarterback? Oh, but Steel Sentinel, he's a rusher. That's where he's most elite and most dangerous. Okay. He had 9 attempts for 83 yards, a 9.2 average, and a long 30. You know who else could do that? Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson could run like that. You know who else could probably run like that if needed to? Patrick Mahomes. He did something similar when I think it was the championship game against the Titans. He ran for like 30 yards. Mm-hmm. So those rushing numbers for the guy who's supposed to be the second coming of Michael Vick and Jesus in quarterback form is pathetic. It's pathetic. I was talking to you guys earlier before the show about this, and I talked to, shout out to Steel Jedi, about this the other day. To beat the Ravens, it is a simple format to beat them, but it's hard to execute. To beat the Ravens, you need to have them play from behind, and you need to shut down the run. Granted, shutting down the Ravens' rushing attack is very hard because they're very talented in that aspect. I will not lie about that. But if you can have them play from behind and have them play catch up with Lamar's arm, it's game over. The Chiefs' rookie cornerback single-handedly almost picked off Lamar 2 to 3 times. But he's a rookie, so of course he didn't have the hands necessary to do so. But Lamar was overthrowing balls that were wide open. Marquise Brown was wide open. Mark Andrews was wide open. But Lamar is not accurate. So all that being said, I still have the Ravens winning this game. However, I do think Lamar Jackson is going to be sacked 4 to 5 more times. Listen, if the Chiefs can sack Lamar Jackson about 4 times, this Washington football team front seven can sack Lamar Jackson. So I have the Ravens winning this one, but I just need everybody to know that the Ravens ain't shit. Okay, I'm done.
We applaud you right there, man. Hell of a statement, hell of a rant, and you're absolutely right. The Ravens are completely overrated. Just goes to show what type of team they really are going up against the big dog in the Chiefs.
Yeah, when their backs are against the corner, we all know what they are capable of. Nothing. We've seen it in the past. We've seen it in the playoffs. They're already in playoff form. I know it's early. There's no preseason. But they're at their own house against the top dog, Kansas City Chiefs, and that's what they do. That's what Lamar Jackson, who was just the MVP last year, does. The Ravens don't impress me anymore, if I'm going to be completely real with you. And that defense ain't as elite as many people think, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Oh, yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, it's the Washington football team. I mean, the only good thing about them is their front seven. You know, I'm hearing Chase Young may miss time because he got hurt, but they still got great guys on that front seven. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Ryan Kerrigan, who's severely underrated. So I think that front seven could definitely, you know, pressure Lamar, but I still got Baltimore winning here. I got 34-12.
Yeah, nonetheless, out of everything we just said, 36-13, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Arizona at Carolina. What's your prediction on this one?
I got the Cardinals in this one. I'm very critical of Kyler Murray, to say the least. Back from when he was at OU, I'm very critical of him. I think he's definitely someone who gets a lot of hype for being a discount Lamar because he's mobile. I just don't see all the hype with him. Granted, he now has DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to make Kyler Murray look like an absolute genius. So I have the Cardinals winning this one. I think they're a young, dark horse playoff team. And Carolina has lost their identity without Christian McCaffrey. I don't care what anybody says. That team runs through Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. And although Jeremy Chin, safety, I think he's a second-year safety, is really showing up in Carolina as someone not to be trifled with, I still see Arizona winning this one in a close game.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to agree. Arizona, you know, Carolina's definitely hurting without Christian McCaffrey. They did just beat the Chargers, but, you know, the Chargers are really hot and cold. I don't think Bridgewater's really doing all that bad outside of some, you know, bad turnovers he's doing. I think he's doing very good, especially with the targets he's got. But Arizona's just they did suffer a loss to Detroit, but I still feel like they're a hell of a team, playoff caliber. I really do. I think they're a huge sleeper team. And I'm going to go with Arizona to get the win here. I'm going to say 30-18.
Yeah, I'm going to go Arizona as well. Carolina, I mean, I like their receivers, but like you said, their offense completely runs on Christian McCaffrey, so I'm going Arizona here. Let's go 30-22.
Okay.
Now we have Minnesota at Houston, another game that could be in jeopardy because of the whole COVID thing, but Minnesota has not had any positive tests as of late, so let's just say the game does continue, which I think it will. What's your prediction here?
I think Dalvin Cook's best game of the season so far would be against this, because Houston Texans run defense is terrible. I mean, James Conner, who is a pretty good running back, I'm very critical of him, had an 100+ yard game. Okay, this is Dalvin Cook, who just had arguably his best game of the season last week. I think he could do even better this week. I think Dalvin Cook could just steamroll this Texans defense. I think the Vikings defense is a little shallow in some places. You know, they gave up, I think, 40-something points to the Packers and just a lot of points in general, being without a lot of their key members that they lost in free agency and from trades and things like that. But I definitely see Minnesota winning this one.
Yeah, I got to go with Minnesota as well. I was going to go with Houston, but I don't trust Houston. I don't care that they face arguably 3 of the top teams in the AFC. If you can't face 3 of the top teams in the AFC or 3 of the top teams in any conference or the entire league, then you ain't shit to me. You know, if you can't fight the best, then you suck. That's just how I see it. So, now Minnesota ain't doing nothing right now. Kirk Cousins is horrible on the road. This is at Houston, but I'm still going to go Minnesota. I agree. I think Dalvin Cook has his best game of the season, and that's crazy to think about because he had, 181 rushing yards last week against Tennessee. So, against Houston, that's crazy. I'm still going to go Minnesota, 30-26. I think this is actually kind of close just because of Deshaun Watson.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston here, actually. I mean, losing to arguably the three best teams in the AFC is, hurting. It hurts them, and, they're definitely motivated and angry to get a win and everything. To a team like Minnesota, I think that could happen. I do think Dalvin Cook will run down their throats. I really do. But like you said, Dan, Kirk Cousins is horrible on the road, and I feel like if you have Kirk Cousins pass, that's going to speak failure for Minnesota. And I think Houston's a lot better than what the record says and shows, so I'm going to go with Houston here. I'm going to go 28-21.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll see what happens. New York Giants at the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is obvious. I mean, the Giants lost. The Giants lost to a San Francisco team that literally had every single starter out. So, yeah, this is obvious, right?
Yeah, you know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the Los Angeles Rams here. But I will say, I promised myself the first time I would come on your show that I would say this. Who in the hell created those Rams uniforms? Was it a 4-year-old playing on Madden? These look terrible. I don't care the bone gray or whatever the hell they call them for their away uniforms. Their whole uniform looks atrocious. They should have just gone back to the alternative version they wore in the Super Bowl. Granted, they lost in that uniform in the Super Bowl, so they might not want to wear it. But still, I think the logo on the field looks like a 3-year-old drew it. I think the color scheme looks awful. I think the numbers looks terrible. You can't even tell what number's on their sleeve, on their shoulder. It's all scrunched up. Is that a 23 or is that like EW? I can't tell. So, regardless, soapbox done. I have the Rams winning this one. I think that New York is just abysmal at this point. Without Saquon Barkley, who are they? Jalen Ramsey's going to lock down their best wide receiver, and then outside of that, what's going to happen? That Rams offense, I don't think it's elite, but I think it is definitely good enough to just run all over that secondary, which is trash.
Yeah, man. Los Angeles. The Giants aren't shit. Even when Barkley's in there, they still ain't shit. Barkley's pretty much their team, but he can only do so freaking much, and that's probably why he got injured. He's literally carrying the team on his back, and his knee gave out.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I got the Rams here. I got a blowout, 33. A blowout, 33-17.
They got blown out by the San Francisco 49ers that literally had backups. Nick Mullins. I forget their running back's name. Brandon
McKinnon.
Yeah. I mean, they just Jordan Reed, who got hurt. Go figure. I mean, their D line is pretty much depth guys now. So yeah. This is no brainer. Los Angeles, 38-10.
Yeah, and I agree. The Rams jerseys are awful. They're so stupid.
I don't know who created those, who drew them up. It might have been a fourth grader. I think my nephew could have done better. Could have been more realistic, to be real with you.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he is just 6 years old. New England at Kansas City. This should be a good one, man. What's your prediction here?
I'm taking the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are the best team in football right now. And if there's one thing the Chiefs' defense is good at doing, and we saw it in the game against the Ravens the other day, they are good at stopping the run. They have Frank Clark on one end, and they got Chris Jones on the other. If there's one thing I know for certain that the Kansas City Chiefs are good at doing, and that's providing pressure, which is going to screw up all the Patriots offense is essentially a run team at this point. They alternate between Cam Newton with these RPOs, Rex Burkhead, and Sony Michel, and then these little check down passes. Their offense is literally just running, and their defense, can't stop the run for crap. So I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is just going to run all over that team. I have the Chiefs winning this one, easy peasy, not even a question.
Interesting. I was thinking this is going to be a little more closer, but you make a great point. I have Kansas City, though. They're looking great. I mean, you just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, especially at Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
New England, I mean, Bill Belichick, they have history with Patrick Mahomes, but, Mahomes is just Mahomes. So I'm going to go Kansas City 34-31. I do think this is close, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is by a landslide just based on your thoughts there.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I got Kansas City. I think by the year, Mahomes is getting better, and that's just.
He's only 25 years old, and he's already this good.
I know. He just had 5 total touchdowns against the Ravens. So, and against New England, who I think has a better defense.
But you saw what Russell Wilson did to him last Sunday night.
Exactly. So I think Mahomes, who in my opinion is the best quarterback in the league, is going to do probably even better. So I got the Chiefs, same score as Monday night, 34-20.
There you go.
I really do.
There you go. All right, now we have the Buffalo Bills at the Las Vegas Raiders. I still got to get used to that. That's so weird. What's your prediction here?
This might come as a shock to you guys, but I have the Raiders winning this, and here's why. There's a reason why. Buffalo almost lost to the Rams, okay? And if it weren't for the Rams screwing up last minute, that was an easy win for the Rams. The Rams came back from, being down by, 20-something points. Buffalo's defense this year, I would argue, is having its own issues in the secondary, similar to the Steelers is right now. Also, the Vegas Raiders almost beat the Patriots, who have probably one of the best secondaries in the league. And they beat the Saints, who are no scrubs. I have the Vegas Raiders winning this one. I think it'll be a close game, but I think we all need to pump the brakes on the Josh Allen MVP talk. Yes, he had a lot of passing yards. Yes, he's thrown a lot of passing touchdowns. But need I remind everybody who 2 years ago in 2018 was leading the league in passing yards and touched. Oh, wait, yeah, it was Ben Roethlisberger, and he didn't get shit for MVP. So I want everybody to calm down with the Buffalo Bill talk, because Josh Allen is a risk. He always fumbles the ball. If you've watched any of his games thus far, he literally is a walking turnover all the time. I don't trust him at all. He has a cannon of an arm. He can run really well, and he is a very talented guy, but I still don't trust him. I have Vegas winning this one.
Okay. Dang, that's real interesting. I was thinking Buffalo, but that's really good insight. I like the Raiders coming into this year. I thought they were a sleeper team as well, especially for the AFC West. Could have battled with the Broncos for the number 2 spot in that division. I think they're going to get it just based on Broncos injuries. But don't forget, the Raiders beat the Saints Monday Night Football a few weeks back. I think they are a very young but sleeper team. Derek Carr's not looking too bad. Henry Ruggs, we all know him. Darren Waller, when he's healthy, is incredibly underrated.
Mm-hmm. And Josh Jacobs speaks for himself, really.
Right. And that defense ain't too bad either. Jonathan Abram came back, and he's looking real good too. So I can totally see the Raiders winning this one. I don't know what is up with Buffalo, that they almost blew a 28-3 lead on some Atlanta Falcons stuff. I mean, they were lucky that Tyler Kroft caught that touchdown with 16 seconds left. But I think I'll still go with Buffalo, although my opinion could completely change as the week goes on.
All right.
I'm still going to go Buffalo 29-22. However, that could completely change by, who knows, 2 minutes from now.
Right. I like Vegas. It's weird calling them that, but I like the Raiders. They got, like you said, a young group, a talented group. John Gruden's really turned that team around since he's joined there. But Buffalo's defense is very good. They do have, some issues a little, but I think they'll work on that. I think they'll fix that, kind of like I'm hoping the Steelers will do for their defense. Josh Allen's looking good. He does make mistakes every now and then. I think he's being a little overhyped. I think the NFL should calm down with the MVP talk. Like I agree with Sentinel, but the Bills are looking hot. They're looking good, and on the road, I think they'll get the win here. I do think it could be close. I really do. I'm gonna go with Buffalo though, 31-24.
Okay. Sunday Night Football. Why? Why the Eagles?
2 injury-filled teams. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the San Francisco 49ers.
The Eagles.
Yes.
Sunday Night. Who made that ruling?
I can get if neither of these teams were injury-filled, but nonetheless, the Eagles aren't even doing anything.
They tied with the Bengals. Now, we can't talk because we tied with the Browns after they went 0-16 a few years back, but you tied with the Bengals. You could have won the game with that Jake Elliott 59-yard field goal, but then you went with a freaking false start.
They had a false start. I still would have won with a kick. I don't even care.
Yeah, what's your prediction here?
Listen, the San Francisco 49ers practice squad could single-handedly best the Eagles. They're just riddled with injuries. I've never been a fan of Doug Peterson. They got rid of, Nick Foles, who I believe should have remained their starting QB. Say whatever you want. I don't care that Carson Wentz has the better pedigree and the better arm and whatnot. Carson Wentz literally leads the league in all the worst stats you don't want to lead. In turnovers, in QBR, he doesn't look good, and I don't think it's all his fault. I think his O-line is making it very difficult for him. I think he has a very young wide receiving core, and I think, although Miles Sanders is really, really good, he's, only a second-year player. He's no Derrick Henry. He's no Christian McCaffrey. There's only so much he can do. That being said, I have the Niners winning this one. I don't think it'll be a blowout like it was against the Giants, but I think the Niners will win this one for sure. And, this is going to be a hot take. I would not be surprised if Carson Wentz gets sat at some point. If he starts doing really bad, I would dare say that we might see a little bit of Jalen Hurts action.
Really?
And I wouldn't be surprised about that whatsoever. I like Carson Wentz. I think his pride and passion for the sport is great. And I've seen him, try and win for Philly, but he is making a ton of mistakes. That is not what Philly needs right now. They're bearing injuries a lot, and with his turnovers, that's really hurting them. So I won't be surprised. Go on.
And why are we giving Carson Wentz such a pass? If this was any other quarterback right now, for example, say this was Ben Roethlisberger right now, everybody in the media would be calling for this guy's head.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're giving Carson Wentz such a pass. He's done so much. His whole career has been injury prone and almost an MVP candidate. That's it. He didn't win the Super Bowl for them.
No,
he didn't even arguably get him to the Super Bowl because he was injured half that year. That was Nick Foles.
And to be honest, he hasn't won a playoff game yet.
No, he hasn't whatsoever. So I would not be
He went
surprised.
to
Go on. Sorry.
No, you're good. He got to the playoffs and he got injured.
He did, man.
And I like Wentz a lot,
but he's just not doing well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Hurts were to get the start, whether it's this game or at some point this season. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they were looking to possibly trade Wentz. I really would not be, even if they did give him that extension. I really wouldn't. But nonetheless, I got San Francisco. Philly's not looking too good. San Fran, they got just as many injuries as Philly does, but they're still looking good despite whoever they're facing. They're still looking good.
They're coaching.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Kyle Shanahan's a hell of a coach. Despite his chokes in the Super Bowl, he's still a hell of a coach. He's great. He's what is helping San Francisco, even with the injury. So I got them winning. I think this will be a blowout, 37-20.
I'm going to go San Francisco as well, 36-17. I actually thought Doug Pearson was a top 10 head coach just based on what he's done with Philly since joining Philly. He's led them to the playoffs almost every year, led them to their very first Super Bowl. Granted, that might have been a fluke. But now, look at him. He's got all these injuries and can't lead his team to a victory against the Bengals in overtime.
No.
Pretty pathetic, to be real with you.
Oh.
I mean, look what Mike Tomlin did last year when he had Ben Roethlisberger out all year with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. Went 8-8, depending on nothing but the defense. And all the injuries that we had on offense, including James Conner and Juju and Johnson, and the tight ends never got involved.
Mm-hmm. What'd that tell you about Doug Pearson, man?
I mean, I'm not trying to ring the Steelers' little bell here, but that shows you the type of difference the coaching is around the league compared to Doug Peterson, who's dealing with so many injuries, and San Francisco, who's dealing with similar injuries, but they're still looking top NFC caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, just want to put that out there.
Yeah, San Fran's got this win. And now Monday Night Football, we got the chokers, Atlanta Falcons, at the Green Bay Packers. What's your prediction?
First of all, how do you do this again, the second straight week, to the fucking Bears? Nick Foles.
Couldn't be me.
You did that again?
Couldn't be my team.
This is an easy one. This is going to be the Packers. You're not going to stop Aaron Rodgers. That Falcons defense is absolute trash, hot flaming pile of garbage. And I feel so bad for Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. That offense is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting screwed over by their defense. I mean,
And their coaching. Dan Quinn is horrible.
and I will say this too. As much as I hate the Rams uniforms, don't even get me started on the Arena, XFL, AAF looking jerseys that the Falcons are rocking right now with the black to red ombre and the giant ATL on their chest.
The freaking mean machine uniforms.
They look terrible. So that being said, Packers. Easy. Packers.
Yeah, Packers. I think this will be close just because Green Bay's defense is still a little suspect, and the Atlanta offense is great. Even Hayden Hurst is starting to revive his career. Russell Gage is looking like a decent slot guy. I'm still going to go Green Bay, though, and they might be getting Devontae Adams back. That's going to be great there. 33-27, Green Bay, no doubt.
Yeah, Green Bay, man. I can't trust Atlanta one bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Quinn gets fired soon after this game or sometime later this year. He is not the coach for them whatsoever. 3 chokes in the past 3 years, 2 of them being back-to-back.
Yeah.
That's not good for you whatsoever. He should go back to being the defensive coordinator somewhere. Nonetheless, he needs to get out of Atlanta. Green Bay's got this win 28-19.
Yeah. So.
I would not be surprised. Actually, it wouldn't be that I wouldn't be surprised, but someone I think who would do great in Atlanta, Eric Bieniemy in Atlanta. I think he could take that team and turn it around.
I don't know why he hasn't gotten a head coaching job yet.
I honestly think the Jets or the Falcons really need to try and pursue Eric Bieniemy in the offseason. Just for a second, off-season talk, I think Eric Bieniemy is an offensive genius. He is absolutely amazing. He is, in my opinion, better than Sean McVay and better than Kyle Shanahan, and those are 2 of the best offensive-minded, coaches in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I put Eric Bieniemy above both of them. I think Eric Bieniemy could do wonders for Atlanta with guys like Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Matt Ryan. Are you kidding me?
Just imagine.
Not to mention, the Falcons, who knows what they do at running back. I mean, they got Todd Gurley. Maybe they go and get somebody, like Travis Etienne in the draft. Who knows?
Wow.
I won't be surprised by that one bit. I really wouldn't.
That would be the ideal situation for Atlanta, but Atlanta has never been really rational, so I don't know what they do. But one thing for sure is Dan Quinn, man. Compare from last year to this year, that whole fire Quinn talk, it hasn't slowed down one bit. So,
No.
but I do agree, Sentinel. That would be a great and just great change for Atlanta for their future, man. I don't know why he hasn't gotten a head coaching job yet, but if there's one perfect spot for him, it's definitely Atlanta with that offense. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I want to thank Steel Sentinel for coming on to the Week 4 predictions. Thank you for your time, man.
Anytime.
Let us know you guys' predictions down below, man. And Steel Sentinel, you're, of course, more than welcome to join us for the peace outro. So,
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
peace!